Hey everybody, happy Talkie Tuesday. My name is Dory Patrick. I'm a mixed media artist and maker living and working in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. How are you? I try to check in here on the channel once a week and share little bits of my creative life. And I'm just so happy you're here. Thanks for coming. I am on the pink couch wearing my pink overalls, and I've got my little pink shelf there. It's a pink palooza today, I guess. It's what I was feeling, and so here we are. I have not been able to sit much on this pink couch lately. There's been a lot of stuff going on. Let's see. Since I saw you last, what have I been up to? I have been exploring some new ideas for work. I am So I kind of did a little bit of experimenting last week. I did some journal pages and some works on paper, working out some ideas, and I'm not ready to talk a whole lot about those yet. Sometimes when an idea is new and you're kind of figuring out what your take is on it, it's just kind of best to just sort of um, keep it with you and let it work itself out without a whole lot of outside influence. Does that make sense? So sometimes I will really just kind of play with an idea and work on it for several months before I really kind of make the work that I will then bring to an art festival or to an online shop update and stuff like that. So anyway, so that was very exciting. And I can't remember I was here on Friday. Yeah, Friday was a full studio day. I had little tasks to get done, but then I spent a good chunk of that time on Friday with the music cranked. That always really helps. Um, and working on some of these ideas, working on smaller pieces to see what I think. And now I've been gone a couple days and I've come back to them, and I think they really have some potential. So that's the other thing too. Like, you can get really engrossed in something, in exploring a new idea, and then you're just sick of it by the end of the day. So it's really important to step away and come back. And you end up usually kind of liking it more, for one thing, but you also get a clearer idea of what comes next when you step away. But anyway, let's see. I have been busy, busy, busy at the house. I've been tackling some projects at the house. We had a whole bunch of rain, which was really nice. If any of you are gardeners, you know that after a rain, that's the best time to weed. And I had a lot of weeding to do. So I've been kind of working outside a lot. Just cleaning up flower beds and things like that. And then I also tackled painting the front side of our house.
Whoa!
Yeah, I know. And it's so funny. I shared a picture yesterday, I think, that my husband took of me up on the ladder. And it's interesting, the response that you get when you're doing something like that. I kind of joked in the post that I can still get my husband's heart rate up even after we've been together for so long. Um, but actually, it was all good. It was safe. I got it all done, the front side. There's still more work to do. I just don't have time to keep on going right now, but we are going to have a little gathering at our house next weekend, and so I wanted the front to get done. Anyway, yeah, it's always interesting what people will say to you when you're doing something like that. And I have done that before. So I did the South Side a couple of years ago. We live in an old English Tudor um, stucco house that was built in the 20s. And it has high peaks. You know, English Tudors are known for their really steep um, roofs. I don't know. Yeah, the peak. They have a very high, um, severe peak, if that makes sense. And so that is the scariest part is getting up to the top and doing that. So a couple of years ago, I did the south side of our house, which was the worst side because the sun just beats down on that stucco, and you have to scrape and you have to really scrub the paint in to really get it to adhere well. And so we did that with scaffolding. And we determined that we rented scaffolding, and that was, it worked. It was fine. I felt very safe and stable on the scaffolding, but it was, um, it was hard to take down and set back up again. So hubby did some research for me because I wanted to tackle the front, and we found an it's an extension ladder stabilizer. And the stabilizer is this attachment to the top of the ladder that really broadens the top. So you can, and it's got rubber grippers. And so you can lean it against the surface you're working on, and you have a lot more stability than just your little extension ladder by itself. And so with that, and also backing the ladder up and giving myself not this terribly steep reach, I was able to get it done. Um, I couldn't move the ladder much by myself. I had to get hubby to help me. So I would do a section, go get him, he'd come help me move the ladder. we we got it done. And I was actually smart this time and did the hardest part first, so I could get that behind me. And then everything after that was just easier because I had already done the worst part. But anyway, that was my weekend. And yeah, we're tired, but very happy with how it looks. So our house is yellow with white trim. And the yellow is marigold yellow. It's this lovely, sunny, warm yellow, and it makes me so happy that it's all prim and proper on the front at least. I'll have more to do eventually, but I got the front done. We're good. We're good for now. Anyway, that's what I've been up to. Um, and working on my new ideas, and I have a couple of shows coming up in September that I'm going to probably tell you about in the next video or two. They're still a little ways out. So, but I am coming to Omaha in September. So if you are in the Omaha, Nebraska area, I would love to see you. And then I am coming to Madison, Wisconsin. Um, Towards the end of the month. So if you're in those areas, these are two new areas for me to visit with my work, and I am stoked, and I have so much to do. Oh my gosh. Anyway, all of that to say that I'm going to try my best to keep up with these Talkie Tuesdays. And I was thinking the other day, another pillar of topics for these videos. And I'm going to add this into the rotation. So as many of you know, I usually will put up an art journal with me video, a junk journal with me video, and then a few like kind of random chatty videos about whatever happens to be going on. But I think I'm going to add into the rotation sharing some books from my collection that are inspiring to me. So I'm thinking about when I do this kind of video, I'm going to share 3 books from my bookshelf. And I have flagged pages, and I'm going to just share what is inspiring to me about these books. I think it's interesting. I don't know. I hope you will find it interesting as well. But I find it very interesting to um, kind of get into a creator's mind about what is inspiring them or how they take a spark from something and kind of make it their own. And that's kind of what I hope to do by sharing these books and kind of sharing where my brain goes when I see art books. So these are art books. Some have instructions, some don't. Creative spaces, that kind of thing. You'll see here in a second. But um, what I hope to get across is that I have a ton of books and I have a Pinterest board just full of, ideas and things that make my eyeballs happy. I don't collect these books and these images as something to copy. I collect these images in my mind as a jumping off point of inspiration. And you'll see more what I mean when we start getting into the books, kind of where my brain goes when I am looking through a book, or if I am, say, going to a museum to gather inspiration, um, where my brain go, like how that sparks something inside me. I'm not looking to paint exactly like Basquiat, but I love his paintings and they spark something in me. That's kind of what I'm talking about. So I was thinking I'm going to try once a month or at least every few weeks to share some books, some of my favorite art books off my bookshelf at home, and kind of let you know what inspires me from them. And if this is not any kind of you need to go buy this book or anything, obviously feel free if you want to. But it's kind of I'm hoping it will give you an idea about how you can gather your inspiration in your day-to-day life. Whether you start, maybe you'll start pulling your books down off the shelf and looking at them in a new way, or it's just a new way to kind of gather notes about what inspires you, if that makes sense. That's a long-winded explanation. Let's go. I'm going to put you overhead, I think. I'm going to put the camera overhead and we'll go to the work table and I'll show you. And we're just going to go through 3 books today. And they're very different from one another. And I hope you enjoy. So I'll see you at the work table. Hey guys, welcome to the work table. I have 3 books here to share today. And believe me, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are many, many, many books. I, some people might call that a problem. I don't see the problem. I love my books. So these are the 3 I decided I would share today. The first one is Textile Portraits by Ann Kelly. This is a pretty, I got this, actually all 3 of these I got fairly recently. I think a couple of these were recent Christmas gifts or birthday gifts. I can't remember exactly, but I've gotten all of these very recently. This one I bought with a gift card that I got as a gift. And I have always admired Ann Kelly and her work. And we'll dig into each one of these. The other one, this one has kind of a glossy cover, but it's The Art of the Studio. And it's by the folks who do the magazines, Where Women Create, What Women Create. There are a few different magazines out there that feature artists and their studios. And this in particular came to me as a gift when I was first acquiring this studio that I'm in right now. And I was just looking for some inspiration of organizing and things like that. And so if you Google Where Women Create Art of the Studio book, It says it's by Susan Harold. And I will put links to all these in the show notes so you can find them if they're still available. This is also, this is a big old book, and it's called Drawing in the Present Tense by Claire Gilman and Roger Malbert. And it's a gorgeous, I mean, look at that neon green. This is a gorgeous book. Love it. Okay, so let's dig in to, first of all, let's do this, The Art of the Studio book, again, by the folks who do Where Women Create magazine. And I'm not going to show you the whole book because we just don't have time for that. I've highlighted some things that resonated with me. And so, again, this is a book that features women's studios, artist studios, and kind of how they organize. There's beautiful photography. Let's see if I can get you centered. The paper in here is a little more glossy, so I hope we don't have too much of a glare. But and here's the deal with books of inspiration. For me, not everything in the book is inspiring to me. I mean, if you have been here a while, you know I love color. I love texture. I love um I love chaotic, lots of melding of materials. So I'm not necessarily drawn to everything in this book. However, there are things in the book I am drawn to immediately, but I am also kind of looking further into the photo and gathering the inspiration that I am looking for, if that makes sense. Like, for example, right here, this is not, this would resonate with a lot of people. It does not resonate with me because I love color and I love brightness. But the idea that I do have from this page is this lovely wooden ladder leaning against the wall, displaying a textile painting. That is a great idea. I love that. And I could incorporate that in my own way. So, yeah, I think probably many of you are familiar with these magazines. Beautiful, beautiful styling of creative spaces. And I'm going to just skip ahead to some of the things that I have marked that I decided I would share with you just to kind of let you in a little bit on how my brain is working or not working. I don't know, however you want to look at it. I'm just trying to make sure we're centered. There we go. As you can see, I've been busy. My tabletop is colorful and yummy. I love that. Okay, this spread is, I marked it because I am, and by the way, if I am saying something doesn't resonate with me, it's not that I am disliking or disrespecting or anything. I'm looking for the things that grab me. And the thing that I wanted to take from this for inspiration for myself is I want to remember that I am actually considering creating sort of a gallery area here in this big new studio that I have. I have not yet really spent the time figuring out how that would work, but I marked this page because I wanted to remember that was a goal of mine because I love the idea of maybe doing some more open studio events, where we could have a little wine and cheese and, have my work, give it a permanent place that I could rotate, as we host events in my studio. So that's kind of where my brain went with this page, with that photograph. This one, hello. Isn't that gorgeous? This is nothing that other than the colors just make my eyeballs so happy. This is a paper artist from Copenhagen, and she makes these luscious tissue paper flowers and sculptures, all out of gorgeous tissue paper. And it blows my mind that there are even people in this world who think to do these wonderful things. And so I marked it. That inspired me. I don't think it's something I'm ever going to do, but I love it. And I love the crazy, all her little tools and materials out. That was very inspiring to me. Um, let's see. This page, I marked this page. Again, it's not as much color as I love, but one of the things I really wanted to note in this book was a painting wall in my studio. And I actually have sort of made that happen. And I promise you, one of these days we will do a studio tour and I'll show you everything in detail. But I have recently cleared an area in my studio to be strictly for painting large pieces. Um, I've got plastic laid down. So the drips that she's got on her wall, those will just drip on my plastic because I didn't want to ruin my cute little rug that was over there. But that is why I marked this page, because I was thinking I need a place to really um, easily work on large works. And so this I have actually already implemented in my own studio, but I love seeing that image of her working on the wall. That's really cool. And then so many beautiful. This is just plain cute and fun. Again, this is an artist in the UK, Mary Price, um, who does a lot of very colorful, whimsical paintings. And this is the little garden shed that she works out of. And I love that she has just taken to decorating the shed with her marks. And I this is something I sort of implemented in my own studio when I have painted the outside area around my door because we were allowed to, and so I did. And so I did some fun little. I wrote "woohoo" above the door and did some colorful little dots and things. And so that's something, an idea that I implemented also, inspired by this image. I saved this page as well because my hubby and I, we are big fans of these QB. I don't know what you call them. They're like a shelf. It's like a bookshelf, but it's divided up into like 12 by 12 or 13 by 13 squares. And we have these at our house. And in our TV room, we have them filling a whole wall. And we have things like yarn tucked into them. We have little family photographs, sculptures, all kinds of stuff. They're sort of utilitarian and they're also decorative. So big fan of these QB shelving units. You can get them just about everywhere nowadays in all different kinds of configurations. What inspires me about this photo is I like how they have kind of walled off what looks like a working space behind it. And that is something of note for me. Thinking also about, that gallery space in my studio, this could be an idea for partitioning off a work area from a more decorative display area. So, love that idea too. I also really love these trays that you could store things on and pull them out. Very smart. And this is the idea that I am getting from this are the clotheslines and clothespins. Now, this is I'm pretty sure a printmaker And so they're doing repeat, images that need to dry before they're ready to go. But I do a lot of works on paper, a lot of quick sketches and drawings. And sometimes I just want to let them ruminate a little bit. And I love the idea of clipping them on a line and just letting them be for a while. Maybe come back to them again. Maybe just let them hang and inspire something else, another kind of work. So I saved this idea as well. I love that clothesline idea. I don't know, I wouldn't have a need for all this because I don't do this kind of work, but even just one strand with a few clothespins could be really handy for um, just working through works on paper. And then finally, I love this page. No surprise there. This is a mobile artist from Poland. And I am not sure if she's the one, but there is a book out there called Making Mobiles. Mobiles, I'm not sure. You can say it either way. She might be the author, or at the very least, I'm pretty sure she's featured in that book. I have that book on my list. I have not got it yet, but love this idea. I love the idea of creating a focal point centerpiece to hang over a table in my studio. I'm envisioning a space, maybe like a dining table with chairs, where I could have small gatherings in my studio. And I love the idea of a fabulous, lightweight, colorful mobile hanging as if it were a chandelier over the table. So that is what I saved from that spread. Of course, there are just tons and tons more ideas in here, but those are the top ones for me out of this book. Just love it. Love it, love it. So this was a wonderful gift. It really came in handy for me. So let's go on to textile portraits. Now this is written by Anne Kelly. She's a UK-based textile artist. And it's a beautiful book. The outside of this book even feels kind of like a textile. It's like almost sort of brushed and soft. I really, really like it. It's a little work of art. So Anne Kelly is known for her textiles. She takes a lot of found and vintage textiles and incorporates them in her work. She does and she features other artists in this book. So not all of this is her work, but like, isn't that gorgeous? That's somebody's. And I think I tagged that in the book later here. She's known for her incorporation of vintage textiles. She does a lot of machine embroidery and hand stitching. She does a lot of self-portrait work and sketches from her life. And she teaches. I'm pretty sure she travels and teaches still to this day. And then she features many other artists in this book. And I'm going to share with you real quick the ones that really resonated with me and kind of the idea that I take from them. So this one, Mary Tooley Parker is a rug maker. So these are kind of small pictures, probably in the camera, but she does these colorful rugs. And this particular series was inspired by the Gee's Bend quilters. I want to say they are in Alabama. Yes, Gee's Bend, Alabama. It is a group of African American women who have become renowned around the world for their beautiful quilts that they make by hand. And everybody has just, rightly so, they are gorgeous. has really, they have just taken on, they are popular ladies now. They are getting exhibits in museums and everything. But she did a series of these rugs inspired by their quilts. I am also very inspired by quilts. I love the geometric, I love the play with color. So this, I marked this page as a reminder of the inspiration of quilting, whether you're actually making a quilt or making a piece inspired by a quilt. I love that she, I mean, look at that. Those are little portraits in a rug. That blows my mind. So that's Mary Tooley Parker. Um, then the next little bit, yeah, here it is. These are those, they were featured here in the beginning of the book. Um, this isn't, I'm not really taking a very specific nugget from this other than these are just gorgeous. I mean, they're to die for. They are little portraits of various artists and actors and famous people. And it's all hand embroidered, and they, I believe these are brooches. They've been turned into, or she's calling them badges, but I believe they have a pin and can be worn. I mean, aren't they wonderful? That was really, that's eye candy for sure. Then I was also reminded by this book, I love a doll. I love figures. I love dolls, art dolls especially. Not necessarily dolls that you would play with, but art dolls. I love the idea of an embellished figure as a piece of art. And of course, you could be very intricate. You could be very, loose and naive with your stitching and your work. She even provides a little doll pattern in this book. That's she made from that doll pattern. But the one that really I mean, I love all of these. The one that really struck me was this one. I think this is a French artist, French American artist. And this, what really got me with this, it's not really necessarily the doll itself, but how she is mixing materials. So I read a little bit about what this artist is doing online, and this is the one that Anne made inspired by that artist. So this artist, here's her name. Um, she mixes mediums. So she doesn't just take fabric and make a doll. She sculpts body parts with clay, even porcelain, and fires them. But you could, take any kind of sculpting material and then puts it together with textiles and stitching. And as a mixed media artist, that jives with me so much because I have this need and desire to mix my materials. I can't explain it. I just got to do it. And I love that idea. So I would think about, okay, I've got the body, maybe the body is clay and the face is a textile, or, it's just so inspiring to think about all the possibilities of creating figures with these mixed materials. Love that. Okay, you guys, this is going to be a long video. I hope you're not annoyed with me. Got a couple more things to share in this book. This is a great example of Anne's work, the author of the book. This is I believe, a self-portrait, little family portrait, and things in their lives that they love. And it is just, I love a piece this is like stitched within an inch of its life. I love that. I love all the texture. I really wish we could reach out and touch all this texture. So I wanted to be sure to show you what Anne's work is like. And this page really inspired me too. I hope it's not glaring too much. You tip it a little there. This is Anne Kempton, and I think she's from Australia. But anyway, as a mixed media artist, I am drawn to this like moth to the flame. She's got these are pieces of rusted metal that she has kind of created these little boxes with, and then she's putting her textile work either inside the box or on top of the box, over the top of the box, protruding out of the box as a sculpture. I love that idea. So what I'm getting from this inspiration is I'm getting so excited I can't even talk. What I gather from this is think about alternative pieces of alternate materials for frames or boxes or shadow boxes. Think about how a shadow box doesn't just need something inside it. It could also be, attached to the outside of the box and become, almost like a 3D element. Um, I also am gathering an idea for letting space be around the object that's in the shadow box. Like you don't have to close in the back. You can have that negative space go through, let your eye go through the box to the back, to the wall, um, or just have it sitting on a, freestanding on a table. So this, yummy, yummy, yummy. And there are two more things here I would like to share. This is really, really gorgeous. This is an artist from the Netherlands. And what I gather from this for inspiration, a lot of you know already, I sometimes put words into my work. This is an inspiration to really let the words be a very large element of the piece. Whether it's stitching or painting or whatnot, you can really let them layer over your focal points and almost become a focal point. It's almost like the text is a focal point here and the face is receded in the back. But I love this idea. And the wonkier, the better. I love that. So that's kind of what I gather as inspiration from this spread. And also just the how these faces are there, but every little detail is not spelled out. It's sort of like a ghosty image, and I really love that idea too. Okay, and finally, the last idea, I mean, among many, many others, but we're running out of time. Um, Again, I love a doll. I love a figure. I love animals. I love the symbolism of different kinds of animals. And the suggestion that Anne makes in this piece is she actually says this is a paper mache form that she covered with her fabric and her stitching. So you could, if you were inclined, go into the mechanics of piecing together an animal like that, but you wouldn't have to. You could also cover an existing piece with your medium. So this inspires me a lot to think about maybe items at the thrift store or little figurines or just things that you maybe wouldn't even look twice at in a thrift store, and think about wrapping them in your art. Whether that, maybe that's fabric, maybe that's paint, maybe that's paper. Um, it's exciting to think about wrapping objects in your art, especially the fiber, I think. But okay, so and I'll just slowly page through. There's a few. I mean, this is a gorgeous book. It's totally worth the price. I don't even know what I paid for this. I think maybe I paid $35. And I had a gift card, so that was super fun. I love a gift card. Here's a look at Anne's workspace. I love, even when people aren't working in my medium, the same medium that I am, I love seeing a creative space and seeing how people organize themselves. It's really, really cool. Really cool. This one barely fits in frame, but I don't want to back you up too much because I hope you can see the details. I'll be honest, I was drawn to this book by the cover. The cover just grabbed me. And then there's more inspiration inside. But this is Drawing in the Present Tense by Claire Gilman and Roger Malberg. And this is also a gorgeous feeling book. It's a soft cover book. So these other two were hardcovers. This is a soft cover. It might be available in a hardcover version. I'm not sure, but it's got that fun neon green spine. I just love it. This is what drew me in. And then I saw reviews online for it and thought, you know what? I think this might be up my alley. So I put it on my Christmas wish list. And this book is, I don't have a tape measure, but it's a good size book. And I have not done a lot of reading in this book. There is a lot to read. There's the parts that I have read so far. This is what I gather from the book. It's a synopsis of several different artists' work and how the practice of drawing helps them with their work. Sometimes the drawing itself is the work. Sometimes the drawing is an exercise or a step to the finished work. And I totally, totally get that. I totally get it. The more I practice with my drawing skills and my line work, the more I understand its importance in the whole process for me. So I've marked a few things. This is like I said, a Mama Jamma book. And I mean, there really are more things to love than not in this book. And again, different things resonate with different people. This was one, I actually didn't mark this, but I wish I had. Cecily Brown does these really, again, I am a mixed media gal, so I love the mixture of mediums on paper, especially, but in everything. So this is a mix of pastel, watercolor, and ink on paper, and you can really see all the variants of the marks, mixing those up. So this really, again, inspires me to mix up my mediums. I love that. Very subtle, but beautiful. There's a lot of figurative, some of the drawing is very figurative and it's very obvious. This is really fun. It's very obvious what they are. And then other things are just more abstract. And it's a lot more about the meditative motion of the drawing. Yeah, like this is amazing. And drawing is, drawing can be done with paint as well. It's the making of a line in different ways. See, I didn't mark this, but I love this too. I love the rough, messy paper that this landed on. That excites me, gets me thinking. Um, this is the cover artist. This is what drew me into this book. Rachel Harrison, New York artist. And what I take as inspiration, I am a big time, I love layers. So when I'm doing my work, it usually has lots of layers. This is a reminder to me of how beautiful and necessary the layers are. They add depth, they add interest. Not every layer can be the star of the show, but they still serve a purpose. And this is a great reminder of that. Here's another, these are these are pages in her sketchbook. Love the mix. Graphite colored pencil and wax crayon on a pigmented inkjet print. Isn't that cool? Right there, there's an idea. Print something out of your inkjet printer and layer on top of it. This also is inspiring me to play with some transparency. So maybe drawing on some tissue papers or wax papers and then layering those on top of each other, or even some, transparent film could be really fun. So that's kind of what I take. And of course, I love the color. I mean, this is yummy, 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 yummy. Um, I love it. Love all of it. No surprise there. More marks with acrylic and ink. Love that. Okay, this one, this might surprise you as something that I'm drawn to. This is artist Jennifer Packer from Philadelphia. She is in New York now. I love figurative work. I love paintings, drawings. I love depictions of the human body. And so I love that. I love the topic of figures. Um, what really gets me about this work, and I'm usually like all about the color and everything, but what I draw from this is of the drama of the values, for one thing. Value is just as important as color, even though it seems like color is the star, and some colors can be the star, but the value is what really brings your eye to different parts of her drawings. I also really love that there are little pops of color here and there, and you really have to look to see them. You could brush over this and miss entirely that these little toenails are pink and this little hand has shades of pink and that there's a little blue down here in the corner. I like the idea of giving the eyeball something to search for. So that's the inspiration that I take from her work. I love this drawing of a woman. It looks like she's washing. I can't quite tell if she's washing dishes or washing clothing, but she's working. And the way that this artist has used her marks to carve that out, and the pops, again, the little tiny, teeny tiny pops of color are just like a fun surprise in that work. And that is charcoal and pastel on paper. So she works mostly in dry. This is all charcoal and pastel. Love that. And I got to be honest, charcoal and pastel intimidate me. So this is inspiring me by seeing what can be done to try those mediums again. Lots of figurative. This whole section, I think, is about the body. So, okay. And then this caught my eye. And then when I really started looking at it more, the more I look at it, the more I love it. So this is LeVar Monroe from the Bahamas. This is paper. Okay. I did not know this was paper. I thought that this was like a piece of wood maybe that's cut out. But see, that is my brain is going, oh yes, a work can be more than just a rectangle or a square canvas hanging on a wall. You can cut into your substrate and make it something more. So that is what I take from this work. I love how the figure is depicted. I love this animal figure depicted here. I just love all of that. Love it. But really what's resonating with me is the cutouts. So I need to think about cutouts, some way, shape, or form. I don't know how that will come out, but that's a great inspiration. More figures, more drawings. Yeah, good stuff. Okay, there's a few more here. This is very inspiring to me because I just love how naive and how raw and just unfussy it is. This is, who is this? Walter Price from New York. Mostly works in colored pencil, graphite, and oil pastel. And like these pieces are done on tag board paper, which that alone, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to look up tag board paper and see what I could do with that. But I love the simplicity of this and just how rough and raw it is. It's brave to leave things unfinished like that, and I love that. It leaves things up to the imagination. Love it, love it, love it. Love it. Okay, and then, couple more. Okay, this one really struck me. This one on this side. This is Nick Moss. In New York City, I think. Looks like he's from Germany. This piece, I just love it. And it's so, again, so unfinished, naive, kind of, there are rough marks. Like this piece, I think, is this paper? Yes. Acrylic on board with pencil and gouache on paper. So I think this is paper that has been collaged onto the board. But this paper just looks like it was dropped on the ground and stepped on a few times. And I am here for it. I love that look. I love, love, love it. I love stars. So when I saw this repeated pattern of stars stamped onto that piece, that really got me too. So feeling very inspired by this. Again, inspired to rip things up and piece them back together, which has kind of, I've done that a little bit and I want to do more of it because I think it just really adds energy to a pretty average drawing or average piece of paper. But when you break it up, it's like, just gives it something else. Yeah, love that. And I don't know if I'm doing a very good job of putting these into words, you guys, but um, this visual stimulation just really, I've got to go get a pencil. get to scribbling. Finally, another thing that really inspired me and an idea to take away is working on very common materials. So obviously, these are pieces that were done on a yellow legal pad paper. And it says ink. The way this mark looks, it almost just looks like a ballpoint pen, really, some of this scribble. So this inspires me to really reach for humble materials and see what I can do with it. Grab a legal pad, grab a ballpoint pen, and play. Play with just those two materials. Scrunch them up, tear them up, fold them up. That's kind of what's making me think I want to do when I see this spread here. But yeah, again, yeah, just common everyday materials. So inspiring. Yeah, and this book is so jam-packed. There's so much more here to share, but if you are if you feel like you want to add this to your collection, I'll see if I can find a link and share it in the show notes. The other two books as well. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for this Talkie Tuesday video. I hope that was inspiring and fun for you. And I would love to hear more about the books and publications that you find inspiring. I am always looking for inspiration. So I'd love to hear from you. And if there were certain things in here that resonated with you, I'd love to hear that too. So thank you again for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.